Welcome to the Daily HiFi Podcast. We do this every Tuesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern. My name is Chana, and with me, as always, we've got Mr. Joe and Tell. What's
How you
going
doing?
on?
How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to take my shoes off. Ha!
Ugh. You ever see when people complain about taking your shoes off on the airplane? What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, I saw some TikTok where like some girl was all mad that this guy is sitting next to him, took his shoes off and had like his toes just wiggling.
All right, so like you know how you're not supposed to talk about like religion and politics and like certain touchy topics, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this is one of those. You know what I mean? But just a little bit lighter. You know what I mean? So what is your stance? What is Technodad's stance on taking off shoes? Should we specify, on an airplane, if it's first class, it's a little different, right? First class, you're not really near anybody. So let's just say economy seats, regular seats, just because you're close to other people. All right. So being specific, not that there's anything, I'll fly either way. Whatever's good.
I guess if it depends on the situation, right? So I think in the situation that you're saying, yeah, it's probably not a good idea to take your shoes off. You know, I don't know where you've been. I don't know how sweaty you got before you got to the airplane. You know,
but how about this though? If somebody wears flip flops, are you like, ugh?
No, not really. But that is kind of weird. I mean, they're in bare feet. They gotta like walk. See, the ew part is like they gotta walk in bare feet through the like X-ray machine. That's disgusting. You know, that's kind of nasty.
Well, I saw somebody saying, well, if you're wearing flip flops, your feet are kind of airing out. If you're wearing shoes, they might be getting sweaty, and then your socks potentially are sweaty and stinky.
Marv says taking off shoes is fine unless they are stink. So there's that.
Yeah. Because I know, like, if I'm wearing Crocs, that's like sandals, right?
Yeah, essentially.
Nobody cares. That's a tough one.
It's like at the beach. If a girl is wearing like a bikini, but then she's walking around in like lingerie, is that the same thing? I mean, essentially they're walking around in their underwear, right? But it's a beach, so it's different. And there's, I don't know. It's one of those things.
I think it's an appropriate place, right? There's certain places where it's appropriate and certain places where it's not. I think the main thing is you have to be self-aware. If your feet do stink, right? I don't care if your shoes are on. If your feet are stinking, there's a problem. You see what I'm saying? Shoes on, shoes off. If you're making a smell, then that's a problem.
It's not good. Not good at all.
If you're on a long flight, if anybody's been on these long flights, like, you go to when I go to the Philippines or whatever, 16 hours, a lot of people are taking off their shoes. So I think, just keep that in mind. If you're on for 16 hours, your shoes are coming off. Guaranteed.
Oh, dude, 100%. When we just did that to Sri Lanka, it's 20 hours in the air. So it was a 16-hour flight and like a 4.5-hour flight. And yeah, I took my shoes off, of course. Dude, they give you
they give you slippers. Oh, that's you got to cover them up. Don't show your toes.
They give you slippers. I got slippers, socks, pajamas. I mean, this was like business class. So they even give you a little bed turn down service.
On those long flights, is business class, or is there such thing as a first class and business class, or is it just business class is the highest?
On Qatar, it was business class, and then they had a suite where it actually has like a full-on bed. And there's like only 2 of those. So maybe those are the first class. I don't even want to know how much those tickets cost. But,
Everyday Jay says, I'll take barefoot over ear piercing screaming baby on a flight any day. See, but back to audio. I have noise canceling headphones. If somebody's stinking, I don't have like smell canceling.
What, a nose?
Smell canceling. Chill. Yeah, chilling. So anyway, any particular topics? What's going on in audio and home theater and hi-fi? What's new?
Well, drum roll, please. The big show is happening on Thursday. It is the home theater Super Bowl, actually. CEDIA. It's where everybody dishes out their best performing system that they can think of. A bajillion amount of watts, speaker counts higher than the eye can see. I wonder if Ascendo is going to have their 100-inch subwoofer on display.
Hey, can you make sure to take away all the BS, because sometimes people come back from these and they're raving about something, Can you be that voice of reason that's going to come back like, it was all right, bro? You know what I mean? Or
you want me to say it was all right?
No, I want you to tell the truth.
Well, I always tell the truth. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro?
Yeah, you know what I mean, though.
Yeah,
we need that though.
So some people that will not that will shall remain nameless went and saw the multi waveforming whatever 30 subwoofer setup that Trinov, Macintosh, and somebody else put together 1 or 2 years ago, and they're like, it wasn't that great. But in their video, they were like, oh, it was the coolest shit. I'm like, why didn't you just say it wasn't great? There's no, I don't understand.
Oh, you're saying they weren't consistent?
Yeah, they weren't consistent in what they were saying.
That's like that mini DSP Facebook group. Somebody sent me a link to somebody asking questions about mini DSP or in the mini DSP Facebook group. And then some people are trying to be funny, like, oh, I think Magic Beans deserves to be in the Target aisle, something like that,
Mm-hmm.
And somebody else has said that, that's complete BS, which, hey, I'm fine with criticism, but you got to back it up. If you're going to say something harsh, then back it up. Tell me why. If you say, well, it's crap because of this, this, and this, might say, hey, you know what? You're actually right. For those cases, that's how it is.
Yeah.
But what I told these guys in the after show chat, I'm like, watch. These guys are going to be all nice when I come in here and I'm not saying, oh, I'm so threatening. I'm just coming in, answering questions, right? Nicely, politely, professionally. And it's just crazy how people change their tone. All of a sudden, oh, I thought you said it was over here. Oh no, I just joking.
Yeah. It's like the people that talk mad crap about the toolkit and then they've never used it. And it's just one of those things. You never used it, never tried it. My new video is about the Acurus Act 4, and people are like, I never heard it, but it can't be better than the AVM 90 or the Trinov or the. I'm like, oh, okay, it can't be, but you never heard it. Okay, I think there's just negative Nance. Remember that cable I showed you, that breakout cable that has for the 4 extra subwoofers? Some guy got all mad about that, and you have to have a cable for the extra 4 subwoofers. I'm like, well, you could just also not have 4 extra subwoofers. I mean, that's also an option.
Yeah.
So people are weird.
Skeptical too, right? Whenever I hear something, I'm always a little bit skeptical, but you should always
you are. Yeah.
A bit skeptical, but I'm also optimistic. I'm hopeful that it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
If you say, hey, this thing's really expensive, I'm like, really? What does it do differently? Tell me what it does differently. Expensive doesn't mean anything.
Good. Yeah, it doesn't mean it's good.
Tell me the reason. So if you say, oh, it's because they have individual DACs and this and this and this, and and if you could even show measurements, then that's even better.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's just funny. This guy's like, one person said, I'd rather buy a Trinov than a no-name brand. I'm like, Acura's been around for 40 years. I don't know if you haven't heard of it for that long. How long has Trinov been around? I'm like, it's just we're getting into arguing about silly things, all because I said it rivals. it's in the same price range as these other two things, and at the end of the day, I think a lot of people that have a Trinov don't actually need one. They don't actually need one unless they have
that's cool.
Of course. It's
It's
cool.
a computer. It's a computer.
Yeah.
Computer is pretty advanced, and if you can afford it and it's nothing to you, then go for it.
Yeah. I mean, I do like the fact that I totally understand that the Acurus is missing a bunch of features. I understand that. And that's just the way it is. That's what they want to do. They don't want to pay for the licensing for IMAX Enhanced or Aura 3D. That's their prerogative, right? That doesn't mean the thing's not good. It's not. It doesn't mean. So here's what I was going to talk to you about, Joe. This is I'm going to start a fire.
All right.
Because I can. So with this new, so I went ahead and spent an ungodly amount of money on some equipment and cables, right? Not ungodly, it was like $5,000. And that I realized what it also allows me to do, Joe. It allows me to switch between 16 channel sources here at the main listening position with the touch of a button. So I thought, why don't I go to CEDIA and talk to all these guys from Trinov and Storm. Audio Control has a brand new 16-channel processor. We'll get all these 16-channel processor guys and have them send them here, and we can A/B all these things and do a processor shootout. We have you come the day before, and we'll do magic beans, so it's an even playing field on all of them. Invite the viewers, and like my office here has a great like lobby. We can have a little spread of food, have some cute girls and
the food. That's all I need.
Food, maybe some wine. I met some new people that have a winery, so I might do a little promotions thing, and I can move the desk. We can move the desk out of here, and have like 3 seats or 2 seats or whatever, and boom. You just sit here. You're listening to one processor. Boop. Go to another one. Boop. Go to another one. Have people come in and vote and choose the one that they like the most. We'd have to like come up with some sort of voting criteria. Everybody in the chat, everybody watching, hit that thumbs up. Hit that like if you think this is a great idea. Because now I have the power. I got the touch. Where's Aaron when I need him? God damn it, Aaron. We love you, bro. Call me. Anyway, this is an amazing thing that I stumbled upon. And why hasn't anybody else thought of that? Because nobody's probably crazy enough like me to spend this kind of money on a whim to just do something.
I just like the fact of getting everybody together,
Yeah.
That's just extra. The fact that you're going to do something audio related.
Yeah. I mean,
cool with the rest and just hanging out and checking out the system. That's already good. So
we can do. Oh yeah. I mean, there's that. Like we can put 2 processors up against each other,
make it happen.
And then be like, okay, now let's switch it to the AV10 and the Anthem or whatever.
Yeah, well, as much as we complain about people saying this and that, it never stops us. You notice that? It never stops us. We still do stuff. We still do events. We still make products. Like as much as we're complaining, but at the same time, we don't stop. All right, so none of these guys are going to stop us from doing what we're going to do, which is I think for you guys. So
Joe, they don't actually want us to stop. You know why? Because they run out of ideas to steal. Wait, no, that was the
wrong. Had an audio EQ shootout. Yeah, I wanted to participate in that. Remember that call?
The problem with that, Don, is that they didn't want to choose a winner because they were too loyal to the brands, and they didn't want to like. We got a whole song and dance of why.
I wanted to do a shootout and have people vote. Like give people a piece of paper and then vote and then tally them, and whoever wins. And if Magic Beans comes in last, then that's what it is. All right, that's what I wanted to do.
But they were like, no. And so we're not actually talking about an audio EQ shootout, Don. He says we all voted. Oh, so did they take another idea?
I don't know. All I know is that we had a whole meeting. That was the whole pitch. I wanted to do a comparison. So He said room
Hey,
perfect
Don,
one.
I'm pretty sure you're still not using your Lingdorf, so you can send that over too. We can we can check that one out.
Yeah, he said room perfect one. I can believe that. I like the method that they use. There's certain things that I like about it. A lot of it is some of it is similar to what we do with Magic Beans. There's other parts that are different.
You see,
but
Don,
they won because Magic Beans wasn't there.
Don, here's the thing though, Don. We're not gonna run what's inside the processor. We're gonna make it an even playing field and do Magic Beans on all of them so that we can actually tell the difference. No, you don't want to do that.
We could do multiple ways. Okay, let's just say this. I have experienced, many different AVRs. Okay. You are even more, right?
Yeah.
So AVRs, I have the NAD T778, multiple Denon AVRs, the HTP1. I have this tone winner. You want to know the biggest difference? The biggest difference is the experience of using them, right? When you go do all the features work? Does CEC work? Does what does the volume look like? What does the menu system look like? What is the auto level matching and delays? Does it work well? Right? Does it have Direct? Like these, it's all software based is the experience, right? Most of the difference that you experience is software based. And then with Trinov, it's very different because now you're doing stuff on a computer. So, Magic Beans does level the playing field, but still, you still have to use the thing, right? So I think what would be interesting is to see somebody actually trying to use it, and you'd be like, oh, this one is kind of weird to use, But sound-wise, once you have them dialed in properly, right? So this tone winner does a pretty bad job of auto-correcting, like level matching and delays. But guess what? I can run Odyssey, let's say, and if Olive changes that tone winner, I can copy all the settings.
Oh,
I can copy the settings from Dirac, right? This is the amount of delay. These are the levels, and copy those settings exactly. It's just a matter of certain things do it better out of the box. And I did a poll to see what people chose, why people chose a certain brand of AVR processor over another, and most of it, 38% had to do with room correction.
Sure. That makes total sense. Yeah.
I like the idea. As far as whether they should all be calibrated using their own thing, I think it should be that all of them have the same. We'll use the same target curves for all of them, but all of them can have their own features as far as this one does remapping. Okay, take advantage of that. But at least have the same target curve, and then we could do it with just stock Let each one do its own target curve out of the box, right? And see which one wins there.
I think it'll be a cool situation.
We could just mess around. There's a lot of testing. A true test would be testing everything about it.
Yeah. Right? But that would take days.
So we'll try to find something that's kind of fair. It's not so hard to switch between different profiles anyway. Anyway, it'll take a while to set up. It's not the easiest thing to do.
No. I just had that idea about 2 hours ago. So I didn't write it down. Thank goodness I remembered to talk about it on here.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. If you guys have any questions also, super chats are appreciated. If you definitely want us to answer your question, we'll try to answer as many as possible. We have Tim here, and he's starring certain ones, so we'll go and try to answer those as efficiently as possible. But if you definitely have a question that's specific for you in your system, super chat is nice. Super chat is nice because we get to see it, right? And it does help us out a little bit, and it's a nice gesture. So we appreciate all that. And if not, then we're going to continue doing what we do anyway. All right. Let's we got some super chats here. Let's see. Or starred comments, sorry. So Daryl says, where do you guys bring your 4K Atmos Blu-rays? Where are you guys buying your 4K Blu-rays?
Amazon? I always bought them from Amazon. I never went to Best Buy. I didn't live anywhere close to a Best Buy, so it was all Amazon.
Okay. I don't buy those.
Joe's not a. He doesn't like it. He streams.
Yeah.
Did you see? I put that. I wrote that message just for you, Joe. Go.
What?
Hey.
John Menso, how's it going, John? He says RZ70 versus Denon 3800H. What's your best choice?
Did I already? I thought I already answered this somewhere else. I said the Denon.
You like the Denon?
RZ70 is $2,700. Oh, I guess the Denon is also Denon X 4800H.
I haven't used an Onkyo in a long time.
Oh, Denon's cheaper. I would go with the Denon, honestly.
And Denons are solid, though. They're solid. They have all the features that you want. They both have Dirac now. 3800H, you do have the option of using multi-Q X if you want to go that route.
The Denon does you do have to pay for Dirac.
So which one will you spend less with?
I guess if you really want Dirac, then you're gonna $2,800 for the Onkyo, $2,500. Come on, back. Silly Crutchfield website.
I think those are close, right? From what I hear, I haven't reviewed the 37 RZ70.
It's a $300 difference. So if you buy Dirac, you're going to be at the same price. If you buy Dirac on the Denon, so
okay. Go see which one. If you go to the forums for both of them, right? See which one has the most complaints. People complaining about something.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
You know, and see which group has the cooler group of people. Yeah, I think that's kind of a toss-up. Let's see here. You have anything else to add to that?
I'd add to what? What are we talking about?
To that question, the RZ70.
No, that should be good to go.
All right. Bodie, what's up, Bodie? How you doing? How many products do you think will be announced at CEDIA?
Dude, hundreds, bro. My email inbox has been blowing the fuck up, bro. You guys want to hear some? You guys want? Let's see.
Yeah, you gonna do that?
Let's see.
Which ones have embargoes? Any?
Oh, Focal Name doesn't have an embargo. Focal Name is gonna have a. So Focal is gonna have a in-wall setup 9.2.4 using Sony projector, Sony receivers. And their second location is going to have the new Focal Aria Evo X speakers, 7.1.2, and also with the Sony receiver and Sony projector. So that's going to be cool to see.
Who does have a number? Who has embargoes? Like, you don't have to say who like what it is, but which companies have embargoes? How about that?
Right here, Onkyo has an embargo. I'm looking at it right now.
Okay.
Hold until
maybe that question about the RZ70 should be. I don't know, so I'm just guessing.
I mean, no, you wouldn't want this one. You wouldn't want this one. Yeah. Embargo hold till 6 a.m. tomorrow. So by tomorrow, somebody's gonna let the cat out of the bag. Makers of Audio Coup. What the hell is Audio? All right, what else? Okay, so we already covered Audio Control. They have a new 16-channel processor.
Yeah.
Macintosh has like a new thing that they released or announced like 2 months ago. A new processor. So there's that $6,000. Let's see, Harman. I think I got a press kit from Harman. Let's see, press release. What are they doing at CEDIA? Harman Audio Luxury Audio Group. Latest innovations from its iconic JBL and JBL Synthesis brands. the new AVRs from them, the modern audios. They're gonna have a JBL Synthesis 9.4.6 Atmos setup. Smaller JBL Synthesis for 7.4.4, and then the new JBL Modern Audio AV receivers and Stage 2 loudspeakers.
So what are you excited to see? Anything in particular, or you just want to see some ridiculous systems? You just want to say what's up to everybody? Like, what are you looking forward to? Because there's a lot of hot females at CEDIA.
Huh?
Hot young females at CEDIA.
I mean,
actually the opposite. You will not find that.
Yeah, it's mostly a bunch of dudes. Mostly a bunch of dudes. There are some people that I'm going to run into, and we've already made plans to hang out. Elon Osborne is going to be rooming with me, so he and I are going to roll around. I'm definitely going to be at Acurus's booth for a little bit. They are the only smart people, and they are bringing a Revolution player, so they will be able to play Atmos mixes, like the ones I bring. And everybody else is using a K-scape, so I might actually have to bring this silly Blu-ray player again and finagle these guys and to be like, I mean, like, yo, look, I know where I put all the stupid objects. So this is the best way for me to see what your processor is doing. Scruff, yeah, exactly. Exactly. I'm gonna have to bring them. I'm gonna have to bring them again. You know?
Oh, I know. Yeah, you have to bring them.
Yeah, you
got
to
bring. We did a B show or what?
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, let's see. What else do we have here? Harman. Okay, so that's Harman. Oh, my calendar is pretty full. Sony starts at 7 a.m. on Thursday. Oh. So 7 a.m. Sony press conference. 8:30 Epson. So we're gonna see the new Epson. What do you call it? Projectors. Then Harman at 11, Bang & Olufsen at 1 o'clock, Focal at 2 o'clock. That's what I have on Thursday. Friday, I've got. Go ahead.
I think FOMO's volunteering to be a booth babe at CEDIA.
Yeah, maybe. He's got to. He's got to show off some leg or something.
He's gonna wear short shorts and gloves.
Yeah, short shorts and gloves. There you go. Yeah.
Watch
Who
out.
wears short shorts? FOMO wears short shorts.
Watch out. What's up, FOMO?
What up, FOMO? TCL has something brand new, and they're going to show it there. So I'm going to see this before all the TV guys will see it. TCL's got here. Let me pull up their TCL CEDIA. It's TCL debut at CEDIA 2024. Here it is. Press release. TCL's QD Mini LED TVs. They're going to have the flagship QM8 level. Also includes a massive 115-inch model. 90. Oh. TCL adds a new Onkyo 6.2.2 channel speaker system for high-end audio capabilities. Interesting. What else? Oh, TCL's Next Frame TV. And Next Frame TV, they're doing an audio by Bang & Olufsen. So Next Frame is the brand's most flexible QLED model for those functioning on a lifestyle and looking to create an elevated gallery setting in their living room. So it's like a frame TV, fancy looking, pretty sleek, that has audio by Bang & Olufsen.
Okay.
Integrated system that contains a matching wireless 3.1.2 soundbar and subwoofer co-engineered by TCL and Bang & Olufsen. Wait, was there an embargo on this? Okay, thank God, no.
Whoops. That's funny.
Yeah. Otherwise, Shells would have been like, Chana, what the hell? And that's okay. So TCL. So I got them at 10 o'clock. Coastal Source, the outdoor speaker company. I'm gonna go check out what they got. Audio Control. That's at noon. Then Klipsch has some new stuff. And then the Massimo demo. Oh, I talked to Phil Jones on the phone. they got a whole bunch of stuff going on at the hotel that I'm staying at. So,
All right.
And then Saturday is open. I don't have anything for Saturday. The show, I think, ends on Saturday, so they kind of like Saturday afternoon. That's where everybody's like closing up.
All right.
But yeah, that's what I have going on at CEDIA, and of course, there's a few after parties. And what did you say? A tube top? What the hell?
I don't know. They're just messing with FOMO now. They're saying all kinds of stuff. Okay, so how about this right here? Swole Z says, curious. I know Chana's team top channels and Joe is team wides. What about for 2 rows of seating? Where do you stand on 2 sets of side surrounds as a third option?
2 sets of side surrounds. I mean, yeah. Or you just put a bipole there and put it in between them, right?
Not supposed to for Atmos though.
You
know. And? I mean, I'm using a tripole. I don't know if I'm supposed to do that either. I think it depends on how far the seating is and how big the room is.
Yeah.
You know, if you think that it's going to compromise the sound by one of them not having surrounds, you know, next to them, then yeah, you can run them in parallel or series depending on what your amp can handle. And yeah. Where do you stand on 2 sets of side surrounds as a third? But I'm kind of curious, like, so you still stand by if you had to choose between wides and tops, you'd choose the tops. You know, to be clear, I always say it depends. It depends on what you're going to be using. If you expect to have content that's going to utilize, you know, all 6 channels, then
yeah. I mean, I have my speaker on a sticks almost ready here. So I just now with this new amplifier here, I just got to connect them up and then figure out if I'm going to put the speaker in front. I got to see where it lines up. But as far as like as this room is concerned, there's no room for a front wide. Like I don't, yeah. And I don't think there's, I wouldn't want a front wide in this room. It depends on the room, right? If you got this giant gap, right? Here, everything's pretty much equidistant. The front right is equidistant to the side right, and that side right is equidistant to the surround back right. So I'm okay here. I don't think it's a preference on. I think it's more room dependent than we want to like, you know, than we were saying. I saw that video.
And you know what I'm finding out is it could be based on how narrow dispersion are your speakers. Right? So if you have some speakers that are like firing like clip speakers that are very narrow, right?
How did that go, Joe? Are you being born?
The reason being, I have these full harmonic BMR speakers that are super wide dispersion. I don't know if they're like 89, I don't know, something ridiculous, right? Very wide dispersion. And in that case, it's kind of like you can move left and right and you're still in the sweet spot. You know what I mean? So it's bouncing off the sidewall and the sidewall reflection is kind of acting like the wides. So if I had BMRs in the left, center, right, and then side surround, it's covering a lot of area already, right? There's not going to be a place where I'm like, oh, I'm not hearing sound, right? So I think that is part of it too. Do you have a wide dispersion speaker? I think there was a question that was kind of related to that. So real quick about the dispersion characteristics. Let me get this off the screen. So I saw these guys audio video experience, something like that. Like the guys who were doing, anyway, that guy Jonathan, Somebody posted on our after that that they were mentioning magic beans, and that somebody claimed that I said that you could use magic beans to make some cheapo speakers sound better than $1,000 speakers,
Right.
something like that. And that's taken way out of context, because what I've actually said is buy the best speakers, best measuring speakers you can afford. Right? I'm not saying that you don't get anything. The more, the higher up you go, you're probably going to get better drivers that can play louder without distortion. You're going to get a nicer cabinet. You're going to get something, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't mean all the time that you're going to, get something better. There are expensive speakers that are like straight garbage. Like, those things exist. So it's not price related. It's measurement dependent, right? And so what I said was that the Polk XC20s that are $250 a pair have surprisingly good directivity, which means that they will take well to EQ. And the EQs are cuts, meaning that's not going to affect the distortion profile. Instead of, like, let's say there's another one where you have to boost certain regions, that might cause it to distort. So I was saying that particular speaker will outperform significantly more expensive speakers. Not every single one, If I get a per listen speaker, it's going to perform better. What the heck?
I think the issue is that the question was wrong, or the question wasn't like the best question, right? I think
they were responding to something I didn't say.
Right. And so then they were just, and then they just kind of was like, oh, well, no, or whatever. I don't even remember what dude said, but I just noticed that the question was just kind of wrong. It was a wrong question.
Like if Chana said, Techno Dad says that he absolutely hates OLEDs and he loves Polaroid projectors. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about why
brought that shit up.
Why does Chana love Polaroid projectors and not OLEDs? I mean, it doesn't make sense, because the picture quality is so much better. You get better black levels, and there's just a lot to be desired about the Polaroid projector. So kind of not understanding why he thinks that. Like, never said that.
Actually, I said the complete opposite. Opposite. So
exactly. That's exactly what happened. I said the exact opposite. I said find speakers that have great directivity, because directivity will determine whether a speaker is EQable. Forget magic beans. Is it EQable with Dirac? Is it EQable with anything else? The directivity index is going to let you know how EQable that speaker is.
Yeah.
And that's the metric I'm saying. I just happened to find ones that are inexpensive that have surprisingly good directivity. Better than a lot of more expensive ones, okay? And I just went through the process of going through a bunch of speakers on Spinorama, which looks at measurements from lots of different websites, from Aaron's, from Audioholics, from Audio Science Review, some independent ones when the companies have a Clipple machine. They post all of them there. And I went through every single one of them to find the speakers that have excellent directivity.
I mean, at the end of the day, if that is the mark of a speaker you're looking for because you want to EQ it, why not? Why not get the cheapest one you can? Hey, how about this? Why don't you get the most expensive one you can and the cheapest one you can, and see if they have the both around the same amount of like directivity, or like, however you measure it.
I have.
Do you think it sounds exactly the same, or what do you think?
I have like 20 speakers that I found out of thousands that have excellent, very good directivity that I think are very EQable. Now, some of them are like per listen, like some of the expensive KEF stuff where you're like, of course they're awesome, but they're also extremely expensive.
Sure.
Right? So I was kind of looking for more like hidden gems.
Right.
Which speakers out there may have maybe a poor frequency response, but you could EQ the crap out of them. So see, FOMO knows. He knows what's up. He says some cheapo Klipsch or Kali have amazing directivity for the money. Yeah, I mean, the new Kali Audio what is it called? LP UNF, pretty amazing directivity. Some clips. I think which clips do we have here that measure pretty well? I think there were some.
I'm not sure.
Some. The
Yes,
5
bro. Yes. To answer your question, I got all these shirts in Sri Lanka. Yes.
RP 500M, $299 a pair,
Mm-hmm.
and they're pretty good. Not the best, they're not the best, but they're $300 a pair, right? And you know what? It's
go down in price. Weren't they like $600?
Maybe, yeah. The other thing is, the speaker that a lot of these guys seem to promote a lot, like those Sony S. What are they? I forgot.
Put it up on screen so we can all see. What is it?
Sony the SSCS5, right? A lot of people promote these, and like the frequency response is not that impressive on it, but the directivity is actually pretty good. So, I think, it's funny. FOMO and I, since FOMO's all up in here, he's all up in here. He's a celebrity.
Commenting away.
But what's funny? FOMO, do you remember this conversation we had on the phone? When FOMO and I talk on the phone, it's a problem because we both talk forever.
Oh, yeah, I know. I can't get either of you to shut up.
It's my goodness. It's bad. And we're fighting over
You guys are fighting over the talking momentum, right?
That's
Who
right.
gets to talk now?
Because if FOMO gets it, then it just, for a long time, it stays over there, Gotta.
It's almost like Fred.
It's like Fred. Oh, that's bad news if we get all of us. So, FOMO, do you remember this conversation we had? There was a post on I think it was a JBL speaker on Audio Science Review, and it didn't have a very good on-axis response, but the directivity was really good. And I think Amir was like, hey, I like the way these sound, and people are kind of like, this is very weird because the on-axis response doesn't look very good, right? And then I remember he said, I wonder if it's maybe directivity is the main thing. Maybe directivity is the thing. Maybe we're not. Maybe we're looking at on axis, and we're putting too much weight on that when we should be looking at directivity because all the people were kind of saying, "Oh, Amir is just being a shill because it's JBL Harman stuff, and he sells that stuff." And we kind of went the other way. We said maybe he really does like it, and maybe we're looking at the measurements a little bit
incorrectly.
Yeah, we're putting too much weight.
More emphasis on the wrong measurement, right?
Yeah. So I gotta give credit to FOMO because we did have that conversation years ago, right? So
I had a conversation with FOMO once, and he's like, "Man, I don't even want to review those speakers because I probably won't hear a difference at all."
he's a directivity snob. So this one's actually a interesting one. This one seemed to have some pretty good directivity.
Fred's in here. I thought I was the quiet one.
Look at this one. Look at this one. Didn't you try these out when we were at NAMM?
Yeah. I played on these. It was hard to tell. They're pumping out bass. Like I could hear that.
So this one I feel is like a little gem. And they didn't get great reviews on Audio Science Review because of the things that we're talking about. Okay, so hold on. I got to show you guys this.
Showing.
Directivity has a lot to do with the crossover point, but a ton to do with also the shape of the enclosure, and whether the tweeter if it's a dome tweeter, whether it has a waveguide,
recessed or waveguide, or like a flush with no waveguide or recessed with a waveguide.
Yep. So that has a lot to do with it. And typically Genelec has pretty good directivity, right? They're egg-looking speakers.
Yeah.
Now check this out. Have you seen these, bro? What does that look like to you?
That looks like a Genelec.
Yeah, but it's not.
What is it? HiFi?
HiFi?
I can't see this. That shit's too small.
Okay. So there it is. Real quick though. So it's a powered speaker.
Yeah.
Let me zoom in a little bit here. So when we talk about directivity, I'm looking at both of these lines, but mainly this dash blue line right here. And if you can draw a line from the base to the higher frequencies with a ruler, And if it can stay linear, right? It doesn't matter how tilted it is.
Yeah.
More so that it's a that it stays linear, right? Other than this issue here at around 1 kilohertz, that looks surprisingly good, right?
Yeah.
And it's because it has the right shape. But look at the on-axis response, like, not good.
It's pretty dirty up there.
But the thing is, you can EQ this. The whole point of this is you can EQ this. Right?
And so you brought this up because of the shape. Looks like a Genelec.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And what I'm noticing, so it's because it's smooth here, that means that this issue right here
can be worked on.
Be reduced.
Yeah.
The great thing is that it's a reduction that you need. So all that extra treble that you're hearing there, you're just taking it down. Right? So it's not affecting the distortion properties because you're reducing it. You're making it less. Now, I don't know. It could be that these don't play very loud, right? They're made
for very small. Looking at the Pink Panther it's standing next to, I think that thing's pretty small, right?
So let me show you the price though, real quick. This is why I was laughing about it. I don't know if you can still buy it from this site, but this is Shane Music Cinema. Look at this price, bro. $179 a pair.
Self-powered?
Yeah, so if you can EQ these, right? Let's say you have Magic Beans, you did your whole system, you're like, hey, let me try out these speakers, and you EQ these on your computer, you're gonna have a good sounding pair of speakers. I'm tempted to buy these, even though I need no speakers.
Dude, I can't believe you.
Yeah, I know, right? Or I can call this company and ask them for them, but it's like
you're gonna buy speakers. Come on, get out of here.
$79. Come on,
out of here, man.
I might as well buy them and give them to somebody, huh?
Yeah, buy them, use them, and give them to somebody.
But I thought that was pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
So that's an example of a speaker that would take well to EQ. On Spinorama.com, they have one where they actually EQ the speaker, and they give it a rating as far as like how, like a preference score. How much would people like that speaker with EQ, without EQ, and with a sub? And this scored extremely well if you're to pair it with a sub. Yeah. So anyway, I have a whole list. I have a whole list of all these like speakers that I'm curious to test out. This is the one that I need to review, but this one already measures extremely well. Boom. Right there. These sound so good.
Oh, yeah.
The Cali Audio LP-UNF, they're tiny. They're $249.
Yeah, I remember.
A pair. I tried them outside in my patio, and like it's just all reflective. It's brick. Right?
Oh, yeah.
But even then, they sound good. There's like I didn't feel like I had to do anything to them. They just sounded good. And then one more I'm really curious about. Let's see if I can find them here. I don't know if that these would work, but I am very curious. You know those like line arrays, the I don't know what JBL calls them. I think they're CBT line arrays.
Yeah.
But they're pretty expensive. Look at these speaker columns. I don't know if these would work. I don't know anything about them.
Yeah, CBT.
So these are some column arrays with some race. I think they call them racetrack drivers, something like that.
In-column speaker features.
Racetrack woofers. You know, kind of like the oval shaped ones.
Oval shape, yeah. 5.5. No, 2.25 by 5, yeah.
So $300, right? If those work, they're meant for like outdoor speakers.
Yep.
But let me just pop it in here real quick. Boom. CBT. Okay. Here. Present, share. I'll show you the window. So I have all these tabs, speakers with good directivity, right? So here's that one that I just showed you. They have the one with more drivers in it, right?
Yeah.
Let's see if it pops up. So this is the measure from them.
Look at that thing. Wow.
That looks very EQable, right?
That looks pretty dope.
Yeah, it's oddly smooth though, so I'm kind of
Yeah, it's kind of
This
weird.
is from
Why is it?
JBL.
Oh, it's from JBL.
Yeah, these are their measurements, but he says he has those. Which ones does he have? Hold on a second. Which ones does
Wait,
FOMO
who has
have?
them?
Which ones do you have, FOMO? He says, I have those sent to my son in college. Which ones do you have? Some other ones that you might find interesting that I found have good directivity also, Chana, are some QSC speakers, like some
Oh, really?
PA type speakers.
Which ones?
I
bet you probably used them.
I'll show you.
I
So
probably used them.
let's see. Window.
Ooh, show me.
Have
Oh,
you
here we
tried them?
go. Oh, dude.
Are these?
Actually, I've had those. Yeah.
So
K10.2s. Yeah.
let's see. Let me.
I've also had the 12. K12.2.
Let's go here. Spinorama. I love this site. Let's see. K10.2.
10.2. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Yeah. So, there was a product called the DBX Drive Rack PA, and that was like room calibration for the PA system, right?
I just want to show something real quick because back to the other thing. Here's the Bowers and Wilkins. What is this? 803D3. Extremely expensive, right?
Yeah.
To me, it looks okay. It looks pretty good, right? But remember, I said if I drew a line with a ruler here, there's going to be some points where it's not aligned.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
What's another? Let's go focal. I'm trying to prove the point that it's not just the price.
I had those domes. I had those 906s.
These actually measure well. Which ones? 906s?
I had the 906s and those domes.
Okay, so here's the 906. Ooh,
no, not so good.
Rough skis, right? So imagine putting a ruler right there.
Yeah, nope. Go to the domes. Let's see the domes.
I think I remember these being pretty good. Like I said, I went through every single one of these.
Nope.
It's jagged, but it's not the worst.
I think the plastic enclosure didn't do well for it. How about those big ones on the left? The Trio ST6s. Those things are expensive.
Trio. Okay, these. Rough. What is happening there? So what?
Ouch.
Anytime that you draw a line here, and the graph is below where the line would be, so I'm going with the mouse here. Kind of expecting it to do that. When it's below, then that's going to be more energy. It's going to have higher trouble in that region. It's going to sound bright. If it's above it, that means it's going to be a dip in that region.
Yes, true voice of reason. DBX from back in the day. DBX Drive Rack PA. What else we got on Focal? Have I had any of those other ones? I've heard. Ooh, do those fancy ones. The white one. Scroll down.
Above one.
Yeah, that Diablo.
Okay, so
or like Diablo looking.
See, same thing. Same exact thing happens, right? Where the line, you can see the base would be here, and then you see this goes below, which means it's going to sound bright.
Yeah.
Right. And why is that, right? Here's the pattern. Anytime you see a tweeter that's flush mounted, it's probably going to have a response similar to that, right?
Because there's no waveguide, right?
With no waveguide. So if I go here, it's not a mystery, right? It's not. If I go to
SVS, how about that one? Oh yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so if I go to SVS, there's a tweeter mounted directly flush with no waveguide. What happens?
Same thing. You got a boost in the treble from like 5K onward.
Yeah.
4K.
Well, right here. Right?
Okay.
So I would draw the line right over here based on the base. So look at their old ones. If I look at Prime Ultra. Oh, here we go. It's not a mystery. It does the same thing. Right? So anyway, my point just being, it's not price. It's speaker design. So you can have inexpensive speakers that you know, this has a waveguide at least. That thing, you know.
Go back to the focal thing on the Spinorama and
Okay.
check out their in-wall, because their in-wall has a yeah, go back.
Focal.
Oh, okay.
In wall.
Their in-wall, that one has a waveguide, right? Does it have a waveguide, or is it just
It looks less bad, but it's pretty jagged.
yeah.
Why?
I don't think it's a waveguide.
It's like a miniature wave. It's not, doesn't look like it's appropriate.
Yeah.
It looks like it's trying to be a waveguide. It doesn't look appropriate though.
That twin Evo, like go down that second one, that one to the left that you were just on, down one, underneath the dome. That one looks like it's got a waveguide, right?
It does look like a little bit of a waveguide. So it's less bad.
Better.
Less bad.
That's better, but it's not good.
This is kind of the ultimate one. Kef Blade 2 meta.
Kef Blade 2 meta.
If you want to know what something close to perfect should look like, here it is. Ready?
Woo! Yeah, look at that.
Look like, right?
Damn.
If you drew
that looks like a roll. Yeah.
So that's what we're looking for here. And I'm looking at various ones.
Is that why Aaron loves that speaker so much?
Which one? Yeah, probably. Probably. So these have pretty good directivity. Those things, you know. So even if I go to his Amir's review, you know, he has like notes on it. I'm surprised he doesn't say anything about directivity. Yeah. Anyway. That's it. I'm still curious about what FOMO said. He said that he has those speakers. Which speakers did he have? Where it is. Anyway, continue. I'm gonna try to find.
Continue. Okay, so the only way to really calibrate any kind of PA speakers is to use that DBX drive rack PA. So I had it for a good for those speakers that you had on the screen, those QSEs, I had it for a good like 8 months, and I used it. And so I would get into I would set up my DJ system, and then I put the microphone in the middle of the room, and then it would just run the thing, and then it would make the adjustment. And it wouldn't really tell me what it was, because it wasn't a computer. It was just like a 1U rack piece of gear. And, you know, I ended up selling it because I was just like, man, this takes too much time.
Yeah.
You could save the room and the profile, and you can save like 30 of them. But I was always in different parts of the room. So like it didn't make sense, and it just took up too much time. So I sold it, but that's what you would use on a PA system.
It's funny. A lot of the PA stuff has pretty good directivity because a lot of them have horns.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know, they're trying to
the horn does what? It does what, Joe?
Yeah. Anyway, what are you guys saying here in the chat? I think FOMO was saying that he has the Perlissons. The Perlissons are here on my list. It's just that they're so expensive. It's like, yeah, they better have good directivity.
He said, I sent my Perlissons to Aaron, and he completely deconstructed them, then reassembled them with Scotch tape. What does that mean? They're just not good anymore, FOMO? Is that what he's saying?
Let's see. Trying to see if there are any other interesting ones. Anyways, that's a video I'm gonna make in the near future. We have any other starred?
There's some quick ones. Bodie's like, a refreshed look for Denon. I doubt it, bro. I doubt it. Let's see. Is it normal for Atmos Mix to push dialogue through the front heights in a 6-height Atmos setup? I wouldn't think so. That doesn't sound like anything normal at all, Mr. Ollie. So I wouldn't I wouldn't worry yourself about that. Big John, what's your opinion on using active midfield studio monitors for surround sound in an apartment? Also, what monitor brands would you recommend?
Yeah. So we were just talking about how a lot of these studio monitors have decent directivity because they have waveguides. You know, they
No,
kind
no,
of
no,
look
no,
like
no, no, no,
around it.
no,
No,
no. Those were PAs, not studio
no,
monitors.
studio monitors. I'm
monitors.
talking about studio monitors. Also have kind of like a waveguide. Even some of the cheap ones, you know, they kind of have a waveguide. It doesn't mean that you don't need to EQ them. You still may need to EQ them. Just one thing to keep in mind though, when you're running studio monitors, you're not running speaker cable. Speaker cable, you can do a long run and you're not going to have to worry about interference. When you're running these studio monitors, you're probably going to run like an RCA, in which case you do have to worry about noise being picked up. If it's XLR, less so, right?
Yeah.
But another thing to also consider is you also have to plug in to power.
Yep. So now you've got 2 cables per speaker. That's a lot. That's a lot. My cousin tried to do that. He had a Marantz Pre-Pro and he had 2 Atom like 7Xs or X7s or whatever as the front, left, and right. And like he's like, I do not like the way this sounds. I was like, yeah, those were near field monitors, and he was sitting like 7 feet away. So there's also that. How far away you sitting, and of course you said midfield studio monitor. So if that midfield covers like a 6 to 8 foot away from the speaker, maybe, but that's a lot of cables, bro.
Yeah,
it's a lot of cable, and then like an XLR cable isn't as pliable or bendy as a speaker cable, so there's that too.
Do you remember which Atom he had?
Who, my cousin?
Yeah.
I think he had a 7X. A7X.
A7X. Because I do have some Atom audio speakers on my list here. Trying to find out which ones they are. They are the T7V.
T7V.
Yeah,
so the new ones are the A7V. So what's the T7V?
Because here's the directivity of those T7Vs.
They're a little bit different.
Look at these T7Vs right
here. They're cheap, $249.
Look at the directivity on that thing. Remember we were looking at the Kef blade?
Yeah, it's almost like that. What is this? Oh, it's a 7-inch for 2. These are pretty cheap. $249 each.
See, and this is what the problem is. The on-axis response looks pretty not good.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they did. Like, if these are active studio monitors, why don't you EQ those properly? Just EQ them. What would they keep this thing for? What is that? Why would you leave that? I don't understand. Right? And good directivity just means that you see how bad it is? It's bad at all the other angles too. Right? It's bad directly in front of it. It's bad to the side, which means that you can make it good directly, and it'll also make it sound good to the side. Bad directivity means you can make on axis sound good, and the things off to the side are going to sound bad, and vice versa. So, anyway, you falling asleep over there, bro?
No.
Sorry. I'm bored.
Maybe.
Okay. So, opinion on using active midfield. Just keep in mind that you're going to have to plug in more wires.
Yeah. I have a Marantz SR 7002. Is money better spent on a new receiver or an HDMI stripper for an eARC or for eARC on an Emotiva amp? I don't even know what that means.
HDMI stripper for eARC. I think what that is probably like it's taking out the HDMI, sending the audio.
Okay. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. I would say, dude, the SR 7002, I had the 7015. If they actually went up in, that can't be that old. It can't be that old.
He's talking about HDMI extractors, I think.
I don't know. That's a tough one.
You
know me. I would say get a new AVR. That's what I would say.
I've tried those things. That's the problem. Is like I do have an HDMI extractor, and it's always kind of like not as reliable as you want it to be. Sometimes it goes out, and you're like, "What the heck? What is happening?" Especially eARC. right, is already not the most reliable thing.
Nope.
Right, CEC and stuff like that is not extremely reliable. You throw in the fact that you're using an extractor to do it. Now there may be some that are very reliable, but the ones I've tried, it just, you end up thinking like, why didn't I just get a new AVR? Because I do try these things for you guys, and for my curiosity, I'll set up HDMI extractor, and then just from the extractor 2 amps, and see what the experience is like. And it's always like, oh, this feels weird.
Yeah.
There's something. I'm trying to hack together something that's already been solved. You just got to pay the money sometimes.
Yeah. Any issues putting a super tweeter on the center speaker for a better high frequency?
I'm not really a believer in all that.
What is a super tweeter?
Sometimes they add a little tweeter on top that's supposed to extend the frequency response to
Is that like a B&W speaker or something?
Kind of.
Or is it like looks like it?
Yeah. I guess do it if it makes you feel good. I'm not saying that it's going to make a huge difference in audio quality, because now you're designing a new speaker, right? It's like, hey, here's a new component to a speaker. What's the crossover point that you're going to use? Like, there's a lot of factors. I wouldn't recommend them, but I don't know. Bodhi asked, when using custom setup on Magic Beans, it has me do a near field measurement for the sub. And an MLP, isn't it supposed to be just yeah? So I think what you're doing is you're doing a measurement of just the sub by itself, because typically if you do any type of calibration where with multiple speakers, it won't ask you for the near field of the sub, because what we're trying to do is we're trying to make the sub conform to the response of the speakers and in the room. We're trying to augment that. We're not trying to create a new sound. We're trying to say, here's how these speakers sound in the room. Here's what ideal is. Let's all make them sound ideal based on what those measurements say. But if you select just a sub by itself, there's no other speakers it can use. So it will ask for a near field measurement. And that's why you're seeing that. Okay. Croson 606, but I am, what is he responding to? He says, I'm sure other reviewers and integrators, aka salespeople, say you don't start to get good sound until 30K, and there's so much more to gain spending even more. Yeah, I mean, a lot of times these guys are selling stuff, right? So what I would say is show me the speakers. Tell me an example of a speaker that they're pushing super hard, and don't say per listen, because those all measure well. Because I've seen some speakers that they push, and I'm like, I see the measurements. I'm like, it's not the best thing I've ever seen. Right? A lot of these guys, what are they always pushing?
You know,
They're
pushing the big stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pushing things. But not really. I didn't tell anybody to buy the Acurus. I just told them that it cost $15,000. And it sounds great. That's pretty much it. You want to check it out? You check it out. I don't know. It's one of those things. If you want to make it a, what do you call it? A business, you got to do something, right? You got to sell something. So,
they're selling. They're selling
something. We sell something. Right?
That's right. Do we have any sales on that? Currently?
We had a sale. We did some sales. We did a sale for the sale.
Is it over now?
The sale's over now, yeah.
Oh, boo.
But a bunch of people bought today. A few bought today. I'm like, oh, you guys missed the sale. Yes, the sale was yesterday. I'm like, okay, whatever. I guess that it's one of those things.
Let's see here. I had a sale for Magic Beans too.
Yeah, you did.
Yep, it's still going. So if anybody wants it, it's $100 off. It was for Labor Day. It expires on the 6th.
Oh, the 6th. So that's Friday.
Use the code LABOR at checkout and you get $100 off. either the standard or the pro version. There you go. Make it happen.
Even with the copy of Sax, you still get a tiny piece of Chana's soul. What's left of it? Yeah. I mean, I could do a CEDIA sale on it.
Do it.
Still run the promotion and do a different code for CEDIA. We'll see. Let's see.
I'm still looking at this. What is this tower? These are the ones that a lot of people recommend. Let's see. What is the JTR? Noesis 210 HT.
212 or something.
210 HT. So this is the 210 HT, and the directivity looks pretty good. What I like to do to make it easier to look at is I flip the thing vertically, and so the green line that was normally the other way around is flipped, and so I can draw a line here. So I use the base as the point, right? And so overall, it looks pretty good. Not as good as that KEF, right?
Yeah.
So you can see it's going to be a dip here in the response slightly, and then above 4 kilohertz is going to be a little bit bright.
Right. Yeah.
Right. That's assuming that you EQ the on axis to this flat line, right? So if I EQ on axis to flat, this is what I would expect it to sound like in room. So it's not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad, but not the best either.
No.
It's not the best. So
Davon asks, hey fellas, on my Onkyo RZ50, I'm getting feedback on all of my speakers. When it's set to Dolby Digital Plus surround, the hiss goes away in THX Cinema, but then my 4 Atmos channels aren't activated. Thoughts on why? Dude, I have no idea, bro. I have no idea what that could be. Feedback? Now, feedback, you know what, like, is it like actual feedback? Like when I'm playing guitar and I'm standing in front of an amp rack and it goes like that. That was feedback, right? That, like, when you hold the microphone close to the speaker and it like slowly kind of does that. Yeah. Is that what you're talking about? That's feedback. Are you talking about static? Let us know, Davon, and we'll come back to that.
Here's somebody asked about the Wilson.
Oh, the Wilson?
Real quick. Here's the Wilson. Here's a Wilson. Wilson Audio Tune Top.
Oh, that little guy, the bookie.
All right, Wilson Audio. Oh, expensive is better. All right. So this is how EQable that is. Okay, this is what we're looking at. I'm not trying to bag on Wilson. I'm just looking at the measurements for it and telling you guys what I think.
What the hell is that at like 105, 110? What? Or no? Yeah, what is that? What is that big old peak there?
That's how it's tuned. So Spinorama. If I go here and I type in the Polk $200, $250 pair, and they go on sale.
Reserve 200, that one?
Here. No, the Polk XC20, these ones that people are saying, oh, he thinks, am I tripping? Or do the measurements say exactly what I said? Right? There's the Polk XC20, and here's the Wilson Audio Tune Top. So
I would, out of those two, I would take the Polk.
Right. Even without any EQ.
That's even better. Yeah, even though look at the frequency response. Go back to the Wilson.
What I like here is he shows what it would sound like, if you EQ them. So this is on the right is what would happen if you EQ the Wilson audio, right?
Sure.
So the response on axis would still be kind of wonky.
Yeah.
Outside of the highlighted area.
Yeah.
And the predicted response would sound, he does it differently than what I would do. But my point is, you can't make the in-room response sound good and on axis. One of them's got to go, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in this case, the in-room average response sounds good, but the on axis sounds like that, right? Now, here compared to this one, so I look at that. So there's on axis for the Polk.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And in-room is also conforming nicely. Both of them conform. Yeah. So that means it's EQable, and that's indicated by the green line here. Right?
Yeah.
And then another thing he does here which is based on the Olive preference scores, I think. So they say tonality preference score for this Polk XT20 is 4.4 and 6.5 with a perfect subwoofer. That's out of the box. With EQ, it's 6.41 and 8.35 with a perfect subwoofer.
Oh,
so remember this one. Like if you're going to use it with a sub, 8.35. Okay. Here is that Tune Talk. So out of the box,
2.55 and a 562 with a perfect sub.
With EQ, it's 4.9 and 7.7. So even with EQ, it's still not as good.
Joe, here's the thing, dude. It doesn't look like a Wilson.
Yeah, that's true. The Wilson. I'm not picking on Wilson,
bro. And when I see the Wilson, all this goes away.
Okay, that's cool. Turn off the lights. You know, but the truth is the truth. If we're talking about audio, then we're talking about audio.
Yeah.
You know, if we're talking about
what are we talking about here? What are we talking about? All right.
Or get a speaker that looks awesome that also measures well.
Hey,
you can do that.
There's a thought. Can they just make that? Can they just make a speaker that measures well and looks cool? Can they do that? I mean, isn't that what Per Listen did? That's expensive. It looks cool. It sounds great.
I think the Kef looks pretty cool.
Oh, the Kef blade. Yeah. Rasik, in the new Acura's receiver, how many subs can you add totally, and are they independent? I don't know if they're independent. They say 20 channels, but I don't buy that 20 channel bullshit. So you can have a total of 5 subwoofers hooked up to that thing. So that breakout cable has 4 XLRs, and then the single sub out on there as well. So you can do 5. 9.5.6 total. I don't think they're independent. No, they're not, because the only way to calibrate it, there's only one subwoofer calibration situation in that guy. So it's all the same. That's why I say it's 16 channel. When you are at CEDIA, will you have a ceiling on the price you would actually consider to bring onto this channel? I'm just curious what speakers are not considered simply because they cost $100,000. I mean, dude, I would want a pair of $300,000 speakers. Are you kidding me? I was at Focal. I was telling Chris Shaw, send me the pair of these and just leave them at my place. And they all started laughing. And I'm like, no, this is why. I can make a video for you of those speakers over there, and you can have one video with your product in my video. I've made over 800 videos. You could just keep those speakers in the background here, and now your speakers are in the next 100 videos. And then they all stop laughing, and they're like, oh, that's a good idea. So I don't know. I don't think we can get a pair of Focal Utopia Evos in here anyway, space-wise. But maybe the smaller one or the middle one, that would be good. You know, that would be good. I would like the $50,000 pair in like a blue. Very nice. Or the white. The white's kind of sexy. White's kind of hot. But anyway, I'm not opposed to expensive stuff. But at the end of the day, what's that?
I'm not opposed to expensive stuff.
Yeah. I wouldn't pay for any. I wouldn't pay for the Acura stuff. I can't afford anything like that. You know?
And somebody said, can you make speakers that measure well and look pretty cool?
Yeah.
And I think that's what we have with these the speakers I'm reviewing currently, which are the Philharmonic BMRs, 2,200, not crazy expensive per pair. Look at this. Does that not look good?
That finish, that like piano, dark piano. Wait, is that the same finish?
Yeah, this is I think rosewood maybe. Yeah. Ooh, these are the ones I have. Oh my goodness. Look at that. That looks really cool, right? And here's the measurement for it. Let's see. Philharmonic.
Look at that green line down there. Damn.
Right? So we have both. How about this one? So I'm not too shilly. This is a speaker that I have not reviewed because I don't know why they don't send it to me. I typically loved all the Warptail stuff, but they don't send them to me. They don't love me no more.
You got to talk to Dirta. You got to kind of
I
like
don't know. I don't think
be a
Dirta
little,
likes me
be a little
anymore.
bit of a dick.
All
Like,
right.
Dirta, what the fuck?
Wharfdale, 3,000 a
Woo!
pair. Right?
Look at that.
3,000 a pair. Let's see. Okay, look. For Tim, all white.
There you go, Tim. There you go, buddy.
Right? Or these, right?
Did
All
that
right,
sound
cool.
right? Did that sound go through?
No, I don't know.
I hit a rim shot. Did it not? Oh.
So these, look at the response on these. Oh my goodness. So that's my mission, right? And my mission is to find all these like speakers that take very, very well to EQ.
Yeah.
And let people know about it. Anyway,
Yep.
I'm done with that.
All right. Swolzy. What height channels would you recommend for a low ceiling for around 300 a pair? I worry about getting speakers that are too localized. You want direct radiating speakers for your height channels, meaning you want them to be localized, because whenever they're putting out signals for Atmos, you want that to be pinpointed, right? If it was like not localized, then it would be something like a bipole, which you don't want that. You don't want that. They don't recommend it anyway. And I would imagine it just wouldn't work right. So what, for 300 a pair? I don't know, man.
Let's get these, bro.
You can get these guys.
As long as you don't have
I'm pointing to them right over here. I have 2 in a box right now. Yeah, those would probably be it. Depending on how big your room is, though, Swolzy. And right now I'm putting. Oh, dude, it's too dark, bro.
Oh,
you're too dark. There. Keep going. Yeah, that guy. That one.
There's one up there too.
Yeah, we can't see that. Yeah. See, like my one right there. Boom. Same speaker. 249 a pair. Actually, I got them for like 230. Maybe like 3 or 4 weeks ago on Amazon.
Get them while they're in stock. If it says in stock, just go get them. All right.
Sound did not go through. Okay, thank you, Tim. Sonus Faber Stradivari. The Stradivari G2 is actually pretty gorgeous. But how does it measure, Joe? Do you know?
Which one? Sonus Faber? I can take a look if they have them on here. By the way, that monolith one that we're showing you right now, here's the measurement on that. I said I wouldn't show it, but here's the, not perfect, right? It's gonna maybe be a little bit right here. Not perfect, but they're $249 a pair. Which one?
And they do great on my speaker on a stick.
So what am I looking at? Sonus.
They don't have it. Oh, how about that Lumina? How about that Lumina?
Let's see what is. All right.
That's like their newest
13,
one.
How much? 1,300. What did it say a pair? Oh, so these are not extremely expensive though. $650 each. Okay. Come on. Is that better or worse than the $250 ones I just showed you?
It's worse than the $250 one.
Yeah, it looks worse. Less.
It's definitely worse. Yeah, it's definitely worse. Yeah.
And so when you go here, it'll say with a perfect subwoofer, the Sonus Faber Lumina would be 8.11.
But look at that, 2.71. Is that what that said? How about the Sonnet? The Sonnet's more expensive.
I'll take a look at that in a second. I just want to see.
All right, do the T6 tower.
So this with a sub 8.23. So that cheap 249 would be has a higher preference score with a subwoofer.
So,
okay.
How about
which one?
Did it have the T6 tower? Yeah, right there, right?
That's not looking so hot. That's not. So I kind of question this. I told Aaron, I don't know. My measurements don't exactly look like that. So I know they were going through some iterations at the very beginning, changing out the tweeter and things like that. But my current ones, they don't measure like that. So I don't know. We've seen that happen though before, right? Where the same speaker, you see the measurements and like, did they change something? And they're like, yep, they did. What Sonus Faber? Sonnet. Okay, so this says
Yep.
7.7 with a perfect subwoofer. Doesn't look horrible,
look that great.
but not. Anyway, you guys can take a look at this stuff on your own.
Where is Aaron? He did a review on the JBL Synthesis SCL6. My center channel in wall tweeter has been busted due to many reference plays for 6 years. I like the JBL for in-walls unless you know another. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to CEDIA tomorrow. So wait a second. Yeah, the 4th. Whew. I'm like, did I just miss my flight? Oh man. Where is this? Delta.
SCL6. I do have a JBL SCL4 on my list, I think.
Oh, there you go. That's pretty close. Is that using a 4-inch driver? Is that what that means?
Yeah, check out this SCL4 on Spinorama.
Spinorama. Oh, look at that. Oh, wow. Look at that.
So there's going to be a dip in the response here.
Yeah, right there.
EQ, it's a flat, but overall, SCL. I mean, how about this one? Dang, those are expensive.
Dude, they're all expensive, aren't they?
15 Gs. This one's $39.90. Okay. How about this one?
$4,000, yeah.
Oh, okay. This is just a dip in the response, right? So remember, when you see up, when you invert this, that'll be a dip, which is not as bad as having a peak. Not great though.
He says, "Nice, it's a go, boys. The SLC6 is in my budget."
SCL6.
Sorry, SCL.
SCL6. Is it here? No.
Okay, September 4th. Yes, tomorrow. Like, man, tripping me out.
Look at this thing. Holy. What is that? Anyway, what else? Any more questions?
Hey, Meyer Sound.
Which one did we hear?
We heard the X20s.
X20s?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a little jagged, but still, it's still following a trend. Don't know why it's so jagged though. Keep in mind, these are PA speakers, right? They're not meant to be like hi-fi speakers.
Yeah.
Let's see the 22. Yeah. Still, you see the trend.
Yeah.
How about these? Oh, yeah. See, you can tell these companies know what they're doing, right? It's not an accident.
It's not an accident.
X23.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that one's not so good. Anyway.
Sunday, I arrive at 9:30.
Okay. Any others? We got to get out of here.
Yeah. We should go. I got to pack. I got to do some laundry.
I got to eat.
I ate already. Man, these Factor meals are delicious. I got to get a sponsorship from Factor. Let's work on that.
All right.
But yeah. So yeah, I'm excited to go to CEDIA, see some cool stuff, hang out with some people. I might shoot some content. I might not. If there's something cool that I gotta like talk about, cool. If it's like everything is the same that everybody's talking about, I'll be like,
Why waste your time? I would have went to CEDIA, except I might be just relaxing a little bit. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, I might be relaxing somewhere. But I was interested. I would have went to this year's CEDIA. But things happen. Sometimes there are better options.
One door closes, another door opens.
Anyway,
say no to one thing, you say yes to something else.
Yeah. Right? Well, good hanging out with everybody.
That's right.
Join the after show.
Here, hold on.
I got you. Go ahead.
All right. All right, everybody. If you want to join the crew and get into the after show, go to crew.dailyhifi.com. What is the after show, you ask? It's this, but with you. You get to be in the video chat with all of us at the crew. So make sure you go to crew.dailyhifi.com, become a channel member, and you get a cool little logo. It's not as cool as that one, though. that's what I'm saying. Now, if you want to help out the channel, what's that?
It's a little straighter though.
Shut up. This one's fixed. They fixed this one.
Okay.
If you want to help out the channel and pick up some merch, go to shop.dailyhifi.com. Pick yourself up a shirt, a hat, a hoodie. It's gonna hook us up. And I did eat a little bit on the stream today. So if you don't want to watch me eat on the stream, go and listen to the audio version only of the podcast. Go to anchor.fm/Daily HiFi. And that is it, I believe.
Yeah.
So again, if you're watching this on the replay, make sure you come hang out with us Tuesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern, here on the Daily HiFi YouTube channel. On behalf of myself, Mr. Joe and Tell, and Mr. Aaron from Aaron's Audio Corner, who could not be with us tonight. Hope everybody has a good one. We'll see you next time.
See you guys.
Bye.